Okay, well, welcome to tonight's class. I'm going to be recording this and putting this on our Oily Friends YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed on there, you can subscribe and it'll let you know whenever a new video is posted. We have generally 2 videos posted on there a week. One that's natural health education on oils, supplements, detox, things like that. And then there's another one posted each week for those who are sharing Young Living, maybe earning a check or just helping people with their health and things like that. So tonight we get to talk about pets, and this could really just go for hours, but this is just going to be a general overview because I want to just make sure that those who are new to Young Living and oils are going to just really get a good just overview of using your oils around your pets and just feel comfortable with it. That Oily Friends YouTube channel, there should be a link in our group because I think I set the channel to private. So if you search YouTube in our Oily Friends Facebook group, it should come up, like the link for it. Otherwise, I'm going to post this video in there too as soon as it's uploaded on there. So tonight we're going to talk, just give you some general overview things to get started with using essential oils around your pets. If you have a new, if you have someone, a friend or a family member that joins on with you and they're using the oils and things like that too, and they have pets, you can feel free to send them the link to this video too, and make sure that they just, feel comfortable with it. And really that's what the goal is tonight, is really just to make sure you know that you can be very, very comfortable using your Young Living oils, however you're going to use them around your pets and even on your pets. We're going to talk about that a little bit too. So the most important thing when it comes to using essential oils with your pets is that they are pure, and that is everything. So you might have seen ads, stories, warnings, things like that about somebody's pet dying from essential oils. It's important to understand that that is always, always, always about quality and purity. The majority of people are using store-bought essential oils, and it just really is a huge testament to what's really in those and the difference between those and Young Living oils. So when you read those stories, you don't have to feel alarmed as long as you don't have any of those inferior oils in your home. One thing you do want to make sure to have is your Young Living oils, and have them in place of anything else that has fragrance in your home, because the real threat to pets every single day that no one's really talking about is the fragrance chemicals. This is in things like candles, air fresheners, plug-ins, laundry detergent, dryer sheets, cleaners, perfume and cologne that the pet owners are putting on themselves every single day. Those actually pose a huge threat to animals' health every day. But when somebody brings their pet into the veterinarian, if their veterinarian isn't really knowledgeable about this, and they notice that the pet's liver enzymes are high, they might not make the connection, and the animal's health continues to suffer. And so we want to make sure that we note that and we're making that connection. One veterinarian who is knowledgeable about those kinds of things can always tell when somebody has those things in their home, because the pet's liver enzymes are very high. And that's just a good way to tell that the body is overloading, especially with cats. It's really easy to tell with cats because cats have a different way of processing some things, as you may have heard. And so what happens is that we can kind of tell a little bit more with cats, because basically they kind of have like a, I guess you could say a slower detox time, or maybe just it's just different. But so for instance, I had a cat who, we had, it was just a farm cat. It was inbred. It was not healthy. And I wanted to see if I could get it back to health and everything. And we did. And we had to take it in for it to be neutered. And when we took him in, I wanted to check out the power of the essential oils. He had been around them since the time he was a few, weeks old enough to be away from his mom. And he was raised, all around our diffusers and everything like that. So right before I took him in, I did something that I'm going to share with you, a kitty raindrop on him. And that's using some pretty strong oils that you've probably heard you should never use with your animals. I knew it was safe. I was very comfortable with it, but I wanted some evidence of that. So I applied the oils shortly before I took him into his appointment, and I asked them to make sure to check his liver enzymes, and his liver enzymes were perfect. They were better than they normally see in cats. And so just to assure you, I was putting strong oils directly on him, and it was not negatively affecting his liver health or anything like that. So that was a really neat verification of that. The real threat is the chemical fragrances. So anything you have in your home that has the word fragrance or parfum, P-A-R-F-U-M on it, is actually a bigger threat to your pet's health. Just to note that, and start replacing those products with things that you can get from Young Living for everybody's benefit in your home. So we're going to talk about diffusing. Everybody asks, like, are the oils safe to diffuse around my pets? Are there any oils I shouldn't use? This is a picture of my Lukey Bear. He is a prince, and he has been around essential oils forever. He loves them. He likes being in rooms when the diffusers are going. He likes to lick Copaiba off my hands when I apply it. So the one thing you need to know is really I do not have any essential oils from Young Living that I do not diffuse in my home around cats, dogs, whatever else happens to be around. I do not limit those to anything specific that I avoid. I use any and all Young Living oils in my home. The only thing you need to know is that if you have a pet in a room, just make sure that they can leave the room if they want, that there's a door open for it to ventilate, for it to, not be super concentrated. And just that's all you've got to do. If there's a window open or something like that, but just so that they can kind of say, hey, you know what, I've had enough of the oil. I want to leave the room, and so that they can leave the room if they want. That's the only thing you really need to know about diffusing your oils around your animals. If you are having, for instance, a cat that likes to be in your bedroom all night long, I would do the intermittent setting on your diffuser. So I wouldn't run it full blast. I would run the intermittent setting on it, so that it's going less often. All right, topical use is a great way to help animals with their health. We're going to talk just a little bit about that and some safety measures. So one thing I want to talk about is with dogs. Sometimes you'll see, and I wanted to mention at the beginning, don't get your advice about essential oils in pets on Google. Don't Google this stuff, because you'll get all sorts of crazy weird stuff that has no claims, and it might not be helpful or it might be harmful. Some of the things, or one of the things that we see a lot, is talking about using essential oils on dogs' paws. I don't like that. Dogs' paws take in a lot of things in the environment, and that can include toxins. They can be in a yard, grassy area, or something that's treated with chemicals. And if you put essential oils on their paws, it's going to react with the chemicals, any chemicals in the environment that they picked up by walking on it. So I personally do not ever use essential oils on paws for dogs. We use it, when you use it with dogs, you're going to go from the neck, or like the back of the head, back, because the dog's sense of smell is so strong that you don't want to overwhelm their sense of smell. So you will start from the back of the head back whenever you're applying oils topically. There are a few exceptions to that. For instance, we have an itchy ear spray, and that's something that is used in the ears, so that's a little bit closer, but it's just a diluted mixture that's sprayed slightly in the ear, not straight down in the canal, but just at the tip and then rubbed into the ear. So that would be one of the examples of an exception. Some other things that people do is like putting citronella and geranium and things like that on the dog's collar to help keep bugs away and things like that. We use them topically along the spine of all kinds of animals very often. And so using them on the spine tends to be the most common application method that we use for pets. And there's different times and reasons for that. If you have a pet that maybe has an area that needs extra skin support, maybe they're scratching something a lot or something like that, that's definitely something that you could use the oils on as well. When you're using oils topically, there are a couple of things to keep in mind. Number one, when you're using them with cats, cats lick themselves. And so they will get it internally too, which is okay. Like I said, I've done it, I do it, and we haven't had any issues with that, and we've tested it. But it just shows you that, you know, like if they're having digestive issues, you can absolutely put an oil like Digest on them and they will ingest it and it will benefit their digestive issues that they're having. But it just means also that you don't need as much as you think you do. And so animals, you can kind of gauge how much you might want to use, whether it's more or less based on the thickness of their coat. So thicker fur means that they're going to absorb it more because they have more hair or fur follicles or something, whatever you want to call it. And so they might tend to absorb more of what you're putting on topically. So it's just, and then you will adjust it based on weight. Like for horses, you know, we literally will use like 80 drops at a time for an acute issue or something like that. So the more the animal weighs, the more you would use, generally speaking, just like with people. So this is the kitty raindrop that I talked about. For me personally, I try to, when I have somebody who's not, you know, using oils or maybe not well prepared, if they have a cat, I will mix them up a bottle of this. Every cat owner should have a blend of kitty raindrop mixed up, labeled as such, and ready to go. My personal experience, this oil has saved my Lukey. We had a situation with him, we didn't know what was wrong. And we took him into the vet. They did tests, they did stuff, they didn't know what was wrong. They had nothing to offer. He wasn't eating. He had a birth defect that we got him. We paid for surgery for him. And so what happened was they just didn't give us any answers. We brought him home. We did the kitty raindrop on him, and we sprinkled a little bit of a Life 9 powder in something for him, and within 6 to 12 hours, he was 100% back to normal. So what the kitty raindrop technique is it's 2 drops of each of these oils, and so you would see that these are some that, you know, some Google sources would say not to use on a cat. I promise you, I've used this numerous times. My son's cat had some kidney stones and he almost died. And after they said that they could not do surgery on him because it was so bad, I sent him some of this and some Ningxia and some Life 9 and told him to switch to raw food, and he's doing really well now. And they thought he was dead when they realized that he was having a problem. So it saved cats before. Anytime you notice that something's just off, it doesn't hurt to just do a kitty raindrop. So once you have this mixture mixed up into a bottle, you can take an empty 15 ml bottle and mix them up with those drops of oils and then fill it the rest of the way with a carrier. Then you will start at the back of the cat's spine, the bottom by their tail, and you will apply a couple of drops up their spine, and then you will rub it in against the way that their fur goes. So up against their spine the other way, and you will rub it in that way. And that's it. And they'll probably hate you for a little bit, and then they'll lick it, and they'll do much better. So that is the one thing with cats is, in my experience, is they hate them most of the time, but it definitely still benefits them. So don't go listening to your cat, letting them tell you what they need, because they're just really not good about that. What I should say is there is also a raindrop for dogs too, and I will have to look that up, but if I remember right, it's pretty similar. So I'll look that one up. We actually haven't really used that much, and if we needed it, we just used the one that we had mixed up for cats. Some things that we have used a lot. We give our dog Ninja Red consistently, so I would say that she gets it a couple of times a month, and just to keep her healthy. She's on a raw food diet, so she does really, really well with that. She's never ever had any health issues or anything like that, but just to stay healthy, we make sure that she gets some Ninja Red a few times a month. She also gets a few other things that we're going to talk about. And one thing I would note though is Ninja Red is really important. If your pet has to have vaccinations, you will want to start them on a little bit of Ninja Red before and after the vaccination, just to give them some liver protection and support as they're, you know, working through detoxifying anything that's in those that may affect them negatively. So, and it's a really small amount. It doesn't take much. So for instance, for cats, half a teaspoon is really all they need that will benefit them. So again, it's a really small amount. Half a teaspoon for cats. For small dogs up to 20 pounds, it would only be like 8 mils. So that's like a quarter of an ounce. And then you'd go up from there, like 20 to 50 pound dogs would be half an ounce or 16 mLs. And then for a large dog, 50 to 100 pounds would be more like 3/4 of an ounce. So, and again, that doesn't have to be something regular. If they're healthy, if they're not, you might want to have it more often. And then, you know, if they have an injury or if they're going to be receiving a vaccination or anything like that, you'll want to do the Ninja Red then. Here's a couple other pet must-haves. These are ones that we won't go without. The animal scent shampoo is more than just a shampoo. It's actually a repellent too. So when you're shampooing them with that, and of course it's free of synthetic fragrance, so it's not going to be hard on their liver in that way or anything either. But it also acts as a repellent. And so it's a good way to just help keep the bugs away proactively. There is also an insect repellent, and this is something that we found to work really well, especially when applied to the collar. And then sometimes what we'll do is just put some in our hand if it's really bad, and especially rub it into the bottoms of their legs. So like if they're walking through grass and stuff like that, it's on their legs or their whole leg if it's a short dog, and using it that way. Life 9 has been absolutely crucial to have on hand for pets. Like I said, anything if it's the cat or the dog, we will open up a capsule and sprinkle it in their food. I had somebody whose dog had a urinary tract infection, and so we sent them with some Life 9 and some Inner Defense, and I think we had some K and B on hand, which stands for kidney and bladder, and they were able to knock that out within a couple of days. And no vet bill needed or anything like that. So it's kind of things like that where you just want to have on hand, because by the time the pet, you know, an issue might arise, it might be too long until you would get it, and that would result in, you know, whatever else might happen without using those things. And then Parafree is what we use to keep our dog free of wormies and all that kind of stuff. I don't have advice as how to give it to your pet really, because our dog is weird and she just loves it. She acts like she thinks it's a treat. And so we just give her Parafree every few weeks, and she just chows them down. I've heard of some people cutting them open and putting the contents into yogurt or something that a dog likes a lot. So that might be worth a try too. So I think that is what I have mostly for you guys. Let me just make sure I got all my notes covered. Just a general overview again. Let me check here. Okay, I think that's what I have. So if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to pop them in the chat or unmute yourself, or I can stop the recording if that would make you feel more comfortable to ask questions. We have a huge file in our group. I was having issues accessing it. So what I think I need to do is actually just have my assistant get it uploaded somewhere else for our group to use. But if you search in our group pet or pets or something like that, you will find some posts with some great information on the classes that we've done and covered it and things like that. One other thing is, I don't know how much longer these are going to be available on Life Science Publishing, but this is the Animal Desk reference. And this is an incredible resource. It's written by veterinarians who have had decades of experience using Young Living on their patients and thousands and thousands of animals. So you can, it's just like the regular People Desk reference, but for animals, you can look up what's up with, you know, a certain situation and see what is recommended for that type of animal and for that health issue. Again, I don't know how long that's going to be available. It was something that they were not able to offer anymore, and so it's only while their current inventory lasts, but you can check it out. It's on discoverlsp.com, and it will be under the legacy category. So hyper dogs are so hard. What we like to do is just make sure that they have a lot of stimulation, active stimulation. Sometimes we've even measured how many miles it took in order to help work through some things and just different things for them to do, work their mind and work all that kind of stuff. But sometimes people have also given their pet mineral essence and they found that that helps calm them. You can use the any of the CBD from Young Living with your pets too. You can use any of it with them, and that's helped a lot of pets in some situations that they needed some help too. So Life 9 is a supplement that we use for our dog for regular health. And then Parafree. Those are the two top ones that we use just for good overall health for dogs. And then cats hate taking stuff internally. They will hate you forever. So we don't do much of as far as that goes with the cats, but we do Life 9 sprinkled onto the food regularly for that kind of stuff too. So yes, we can go over the dosage for the Ningxia. Excellent. Rachel said she's used CBD for her dog and it's helped. That is so awesome. And so there is a supplement called Allerzyme. And so if you have a dog with issues like that, they can take that supplement. You can, you know, they're small, so you can hide them in something, no problem, or you can open them up and put them in something. That and Life 9 are really, really good for pets who have allergies and things like that. So let's see, what did I have for the Ningxia Red? So for dogs up to 20 pounds, the dosage is 1/4 of an ounce of Ningxia Red or 8 milliliters. Medium dogs 20 to 50 pounds is 1/2 ounce, 16 ml. And large dogs 50 to 100 pounds is 3/4 of an ounce or 23 ml. All right, I'm going to stop the recording. Let's see if we can do that.